Darkest hour, you give me strength and power. Kumama Papa, yeah. And when I call your name, you take away all the shame. As I like I can see your son.
I like that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't that beautiful? Just the sort of thing we need on a day like this, isn't it, Whimsy?
Well, I figured everybody was praying.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people are praying today.
How are you, my love?
Well, I'm doing okay. Before the show, before we went on, I was rushing like crazy to find my Whimsy mug. And it was in my dishwasher. I breathed a sigh of relief. I got here, put on my earbuds, and started the show with you.
Well, how was your week, my love? How was your week?
Oh, my week. Let's see. I've been doing my usual artwork for people. I'm not going to say specifically what it is yet, but I'm designing a set of oracle cards. I'm also writing them, channeling the information. I'm hoping to have this finished by the end of the year. But I'm not going to say what it is just yet.
Are the oracles going to be famous celebrities?
Well, I don't want to say
if it were me, I would have one Mae West and what she stood for, like these different archetypes. And then I would also have images from famous movies like Tara from Gone with the Wind burning. For the tower, I would have Tara burning. And then I would have, for the 10 of Cups, I would have like Oz, going to the kingdom, like I would use famous stills from movies and famous, like Clark Gable, I would have that be an archetype. And for the pages, you could have like famous, of course, it would only mean something to people that really loved old movies. And a lot of people have never seen, young people have not seen movies.
Oh, I'm very much aware of that because, on my show I do on Mondays, Chuck's Captivating Chat, I talk primarily about old Hollywood, I Love Lucy, that type of thing.
Well, Lucy's the Queen of Cups.
Well, she would be wonderful, wouldn't she?
But it's perfect. I Love Lucy. She would be the Queen of Cups.
Yeah, but you are right. It's definitely a niche, and it's growing smaller and smaller with time. The people who actually know about these old movies. I love the idea of doing that for a set of oracle cards. Believe me, I thought of it. But the problem is you'd have to pay royalties to all those people, to the estates of all those celebrities, to the studios. So I'm working with public domain.
And it wouldn't be popular once they weren't popular.
Yeah. So I'm working more with, I'm just going to say this much. I'm working more with what's safely in the public domain. But I think these cards are going to be really exciting. I'm proud of them because I'm going to actually be able to do readings with my own oracle cards that I've created myself. And I'm hoping to, publish them, sell them later. But that's what I'm working on right now.
Now, why didn't you ask me to be part of this project?
Well, would you like to be part of this, Whimsy? Of course you can be part of it.
Yes, I'm an oracle, sort of.
Well, of course you
in an
are.
imaginary sort of way.
One of the best I know.
Oh, gosh.
Well, it's just the truth. Yeah. No, I'll tell you more about it in private. I just don't, I want to wait until I have this finished and copyrighted before I go fully public with it. But anyway, that's my life right now. That's what I'm working on.
Well, what do you think of the new book that you and I have for our Book of the Month Club?
Well, I have it on order right now from Amazon, and it should arrive hopefully soon, like maybe tomorrow even. But but I've heard you talking about it on your other shows. You've talked about it here. It sounds fascinating because we both share in common. We love to vicariously travel in our readings, and we love going back to different times and different cultures, different countries. And
I do that a lot. I tend to pick books where I'm taken to another land, or I really liked The Bookseller of Kabul, where she lived with a bookseller of Kabul. And I liked reading Lolita in Tehran, where she was teaching English to students at Tehran University after the fall of the Shah, and they had to meet secretly to read books that had been banned by Ayatollah Khomeini. So, these women that are fearless and they go to places that we only dream about, and they have adventures we can only imagine. So that is why I picked In Search of the Sun for those of you who would like to be members of our Book of the Month Club. It's written by the amazing Lisa Lowitz. She's a very excellent writer. She's a professional writer. I will have to reach out to her. I think this was recommended and not necessarily by her, but it's really good.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, well, let's go ahead. We'll turn the camera around. Can you tell me who's here? What's happening?
Let me see.
And by the way, if you click the person, if you click on if you put the mouse over where it says show, you can go like that.
Ooh, I like that.
So how about I click and you read?
Okay. Well, we have Helen here saying that she's so glad to have caught this live chat. Well, Helen, we're happy you caught us. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Joel Tilson asks, I've never seen a picture of Joel before.
Isn't he a lovely man?
Yes, he is. But he's asking, I think the question many are going to be asking us today, will the big, beautiful bill destroy MAGA and the GOP? I hope to God, yes. But anyway.
Well, let's go. You want to go into it? You want to start with this first one?
Well, I guess we have to talk about this sometime, don't we?
Yeah. What are you thinking? The cards.
What am I thinking?
The cards have been interesting.
Well, like many people, I get news bulletins on my iPhone, and I literally woke up this morning to the bulletin on my phone that the Senate had passed the measure. I mean, I know it has to go to the House now, but they passed the bill, the big, beautiful bill. And I felt like I was kicked in the stomach. I almost wanted to cry when I saw that. It made me very sad.
Well, we had mixed results with the cards. That was yes and no. And what I think is that it passes in the Senate and it falls in Congress.
I'm thinking
that means it has to go back to Trump's desk. Look, we're looking at civil war in Congress. Would you agree? Can you talk a little bit about that with me?
Definitely. Well, just about 15 minutes before the show, you sent me a video. Marjorie Taylor Greene, of all people, has denounced the bill. And she's saying there ain't enough votes in the House to get this through. Now, I mean, that's coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. And when you lose Marjorie Taylor Greene, for Trump, for the MAGA people, that's saying a lot. I think also you pointed this out on one of your shows recently. In the Senate, you have 6-year cycles between elections, where in the House it's 2-year. So a lot more people are facing re-election, and their jobs are on the line, and they know how hated this bill is. I mean, I saw today a poll that said only 29% of the nation approves of it, 59% disapproval. Fox News generously put it at 38% approval, but it's hated. The bill is horrific. I mean, it's going to take away health care, SNAP benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, social programs, greenhouse energy. I mean, it's going to put people's lives in peril. And when I think of what Mitch McConnell said, people will just go over it. They'll forget about it. No, you don't get over it when it's grandma not able to get her insulin or someone you love dying. You don't get over that. It's insulting.
How do you think we got here?
How we got here? Probably a lot of stupidity, a lot of superficiality.
Ronald Reagan tax cuts.
I was going to just say things like people raised on television, conditioned to sound bites, shorter attention spans. But going back to Ronald Reagan and the trickle down economics, this is like a bigger expansion of that. The theory that if you give the very richest people in this country more benefits, more tax breaks, more money, somehow that's going to trickle down to the middle class and to the farmers and the senior citizens. And didn't we see during the Reagan years that it was a spectacular failure? That it
1980 he was elected, and then we went straight into a serious recession. We were on the verge of a serious recession. If Carter had implemented his social programs, that the recession probably wouldn't have happened. It meant paying your taxes, right? To keep the social programs, to keep the offices open, because they have systematically been shutting down our government because we can't pay workers, all because they don't want to pay their taxes. And when they do have money, they hide it. We've talked about that, whether it was the Panama Papers, the Cayman Islands, buying assets in other countries like the Cayman Islands with their mega yachts and their creepy parties that we've talked about.
Tax shelters.
And they were, and one of the theories, not that I'm a big, I'm not a particularly attracted to conspiracy theories unless they're true. But one of the arguments is that is precisely what happened, that these millionaires and billionaires, they hid their money in these foreign accounts and then went to these parties and were filmed and blackmailed. And now certain people in positions of power basically own the Senate, they own Congress, they own the judges.
Yes. I mean, that was generally the feeling about Elon Musk.
Yes.
Some even going so far as to say he owned the presidency.
Right.
Yeah.
He certainly bailed the president out.
Yeah.
But what about everybody else? Judge Thomas, right? He was on a mega yacht with, who was the guy who was found on a mega yacht with that was buying bought him a house, bought him this, bought him that. He was openly bribed. You would think.
That I remember. I don't remember who the person was.
It didn't. Justice Thomas was praised. He said that he better get paid more or he was going to quit. So they came up with a way to give him more money.
Disgusting.
And then when he was caught with this billionaire on a mega yacht, we take vacations all the time together. So it went back to that whole idea of, what the heck is going on? What do you think about the break with Elon Musk that's starting to happen?
That is interesting. Some have theorized that Elon is just pissed off because he's not getting enough benefits and money out of this big, beautiful bill. So he's denouncing it. Some have said that, but he's really, really just fractioned off from the MAGA and from Trump, and he's going so far as to say that the very Republicans he helped to get elected, he will now do everything in his power to take them out of office. I think he said, if it's the last thing I do on earth, anybody who votes for this bill, I will see to it that you get out of office. That's what he's claiming anyway.
Do you think MAGA is imploding? This is something that we talked about before we went live. Do you think that we are seeing them cut it? Is this a circular firing squad we're looking at right now?
It's certainly, on the surface, it looks that way, but hasn't it looked that way for the longest time? But yet MAGA just keeps rising from the dead somehow. But it certainly looks to me like there are a lot of holes in this. It's getting punctured. The air is being deflated. This bill is going to be a real test if it makes it through the House.
Wow.
I don't think it's going to make it to Trump's desk by July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
That self-mandated deadline. And supposedly the reason he's so adamant about that July 4th deadline is because there's a lot of money in there for the military and also a lot of funding for his mass deportations, which is running out of steam. So he needs to turbocharge that.
Well, now they're saying to deport Elon Musk.
I've heard that. That seems quite outrageous. What do you think, Whimsy? Do you think that's even possible?
Not if he's working for the CIA. The CIA tends to grab up the smartest, best, and the brightest, and they look at places like Stanford, etc. And if he was, recruited by an intelligence agency, then none of this matters. And so that's the big theory, is that he goes to Stanford, he gets approached, or maybe he even got approached before he went. They saw a brainiac. They said, we can use this guy. He was approached. We'll take care of it. It'll go under this false thing of you being a student. And then he's publicly doing these PayPal and whatnot, but he's got this other gig. And this other gig is taking care of all of his immigration problems, et cetera, et cetera. And so, was he certainly is what we would be looking for. If you're talking about our intelligence agencies, Snowden talked about it when he went to work for, who was he working for? I don't
remember.
It was the people that check our intelligence, that scan our security. And he was another brainiac. Where'd they get him out of? Someplace like Boston U or I don't know. I can't remember the story of Snowden. We can Google it. But the point is that this is what they do. They snatch up the best and the brightest. And, the guy's had security clearance for a very, very long time. He's been protected. So if he's an asset, then that makes things it would also explain why he wasn't charged for bad behavior. If he's deep in, Russia's great. Meanwhile, he was recruited before he even went to Stanford. If that's what we're looking for, then what the hell are we looking at?
Yeah. I even wonder how much dirt Musk has on Trump. It's like, that was like a little tease. He said, oh, well, you're in the
Epstein files.
Epstein files. Thank you. I was having a brain fart there.
That's okay. I have been frequent.
Next week, I'm going to be 65. That's my birthday.
Oh, you look fantastic. You look great.
But my brain.
You get so many compliments from the ladies. I hear it all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
you look like Kevin Klein.
A week from today.
Happy birthday. I should take you out. If I was there, I would take you out.
Oh,
I like to take you out on your birthday.
You do. You're wonderful. But the Epstein files. I was just going to say, I felt like that was like a little teaser. Like, don't F with me. I've got a lot more I can release. That was just like a little jab at Trump to shut him up.
Well, it goes back to this whole idea of, did Elon Musk have a plan B when he went into business with this guy?
Oh, probably a D, E, F, G, H, probably the whole alphabet of plans. He's a smart man.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready to do the Empath prayer and give people a blessing? Does that sound
Yes,
good?
that sounds terrific.
All right. So we're going to go ahead now. We'll do what's called the Empath prayer. Please join along if you know the prayer. If you or someone you love needs to receive a healing from the community today, if you need us to pray over you or pray over somebody that you love, we are more than happy to include them in our prayers today. It's a non-denominational prayer. It was created by nobody. We have no idea where this prayer came from. Isn't that the weirdest thing about the
Yeah,
Empath prayer?
didn't you say it just kind of manifested from all
It
of the
manifested.
people collectively adding to it, and it just took on its own life?
People were like, call on white light protection,
Yeah.
call our good angels. Oh, and then I think it was Geocosmic Valentine. What about the people we have problems with? People we have strife with.
People we have strife with, yes.
Yeah, that was the last thing we added. You know that? And what's interesting is that a lot of people have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. It does push some buttons,
Yes,
understandably.
but it is part of the Empath.
But it is true. We all have people we have strife with. And
Like the Republican Party?
yes, yes, as a matter of fact.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. We'll bring it in. Let's do the Empath prayer.
Okay.
Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen.
Amen.
And for those of you who are requesting a healing at this time, we come together and we pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, we say, Amen,
Amen.
Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed. Well, I don't know if we got the order, but do you think we should blitz, blitz, blitz away?
I'm ready.
All right. Blitz, blitz, blitz away. We're going to go back to the original question. Let's look at the cards for the big.
Oh, that's going to blow the cards off the table.
Yes. Spontaneous combustion.
The cards are going to burst in flames. Sorry, but I almost know the answer without even looking at these things.
Don't put them out with water. I'm melting.
Oh,
The big, beautiful bill.
I'm just going to show one card right now. Loss.
What? I'm sorry. I'm taking that.
I'm in the middle of pulling cards, but I just had to show this one. Loss.
Okay,
that one
good.
Jumped out. So
It's good, actually.
okay. Yes, it is. But let me get serious here.
You want me to go? Who's first?
No, I think first of all, I'm just getting readings here. The answer is yes. It is going to bring down MAGA. It is. But I'm just laughing because some things are so obvious, like shadow, deceit. Sorry, this card jumped out big time. Loss. Sorry, the truth is coming up.
Oh my God.
But I also get for the people, new beginnings and a victory for the people. What are you getting, Whimsy? But I just
Exactly the same thing.
Good.
Yes, okay, so the poverty. So this bill is associated with poverty. So steal from the poor and give to the rich. So we have where we are at. You know what? People are really afraid. You know, for the month of July, I was going to say I'm offering 20% off on my senior, offering a senior discount for the month of July because a lot of people are really struggling.
Oh,
yes. This is a poverty card. It also has to do with exile, locked out of the church. So there has become a difference between our politicians and their constituents. You know, we're in a state of poverty. What's interesting is that you look at I think of the Democrats as the opposition, but it isn't just the Democrats that are the opposition. It's, I don't know if we can see this. Okay, I'll have to just show it to you this way. The opposition, anger, you know, 8 of Wands is swift. It can be strife, and it's swift, swift, swift. So I think we're seeing uprisings. You know, it's so funny. Have you ever seen the comedy of Sarah Cooper?
No, I haven't.
Absolutely hysterical. Sarah Cooper does these imitations. She does Donald Trump. And yeah, it's very funny. But Donald Trump in the bunker. Was it in the bunker? You remember when they were rioting and yeah, do you remember that?
What, when they were rioting, at what point? Which riot are you talking about?
They were, you know, they had breached the you know, they had breached they had gotten in, right? And so let me see. I can try and find it. It's absolutely funny. She's hysterical. But what she does is she does imitations of Trump. And let me just go ahead and show this because I feel like this is happening again. So let's do a little bit of a comedy break here and show you just a brief bit of the brilliant Sarah Cooper doing Trump. And what she does is she uses his real conversations.
And I was there for a tiny little short period of time, and it was much more for an inspection. There was no problem during the day. And I go down, I've gone down 2 or 3 times, all for inspection. And you go there, someday you may need it, but you go there, and I went down, I looked at it, it was during the day, it was not a problem.
Sometimes the Secret Service even tells the president, I can't do this. So you tell me, Mr. President, they didn't say to you, you have to go downstairs, my responsibility is your welfare. They didn't limit you at all in the House?
Nope, they didn't tell me that at all, but they said it would be a good time to go down, take a look, because maybe sometime you're going to need it. And I've been down, let's see, that would be number 2, 2.5, sort of, because I've done different things, but 2.5. But I looked, I was down for a very, very short period of time, very, very short period of time.
We hit the body.
Okay.
I love her.
So she takes real things he said and she acts them out. And so what happened was the last time they were protesting right before him losing, they had breached the White House and they had sent him down into a safe area. And you get this feeling like we are America in a state of poverty, our current situation, right? People don't have jobs. They're cutting Medicaid. I mean, they are literally driving seniors to sleep in their cars. Yes. The opposition, you see, you know, one aspect of the 8 of Wands is like riot, strife, but it's also quick, quick, quick. Here it is again. The War King comes. King of Wands. There is just this strong energy of war. And look at that. We get the world. So it goes back to the arc of history bends towards justice. Every time there has been this type of exploitation of wealth, this kind of centralizing of wealth, it starts with 1 or 2 people that are kind of like the canary in the coal mine, like Luigi out of New York that assassinated the guy from Universal Health, where
Yeah.
it's one or two lone people, and then it becomes a revolution. Then you have some guy that comes along like Mao. You have this King of Wands come in that organizes it, and then you've got a real problem on your hand. And that's where we're headed. But we gain the world. It's not going to, MAGA is collapsing, and this separate, look, it's been going on for a long time. We talked about it since Reagan, the cutting of taxes. And then they continued after that. They just kept cutting, hiding their money. They used to not be able to hide their money so easily in foreign countries.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the old stereotype of the Swiss bank account. Remember, that used to be the big thing, supposedly people putting their money away there, but that's almost quaint now by comparison.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next question. Mossad assassinating Iran's IRG leaders each day. This is something that's come out. You know, they say, yes, they have a ceasefire, but actually people don't understand that we have really, the West has won with Iran because Israel controls the skies over Iran and has been systematically assassinating IRG leaders because Mossad agents have been activated, and many of the Mossad agents are IRGC members themselves. And so it's gotten to a point where Ali Khamenei doesn't even know if the people watching him are Mossad. Can you talk a little bit about what you think about that whole situation?
Well, I'm not really well versed in this. I don't know how much I can really talk about it, but you probably know more than I do on this. But immediate thought that came to me when you said Israel controls the skies. Well, they also have a massive nuclear arsenal, which is something Iran allegedly does not have.
Yeah, I don't think we would ever use it. In fact, I think we're going to stop. I don't see a future for nuclear war because there's no point. I think instead it's almost like mirroring spells. You know, when you do a mirroring spell and you put a mirror up and it bounces back whatever evil eye, and you put a candle in front of them. So the mirror is like this facing the window. So if anybody looks in, they're going to see their own face. And then you put a candle in front of it. A rabbi told me how to do this. A frickin' Orthodox Kabbalist. Wow. And some people put salt and fresh water in front of it. And then you just every night you read the Psalms. I will be protected from my enemies. God will protect me. And it just bounce. It works every damn time.
And I know that salt helps to purify.
Right. And you just pour it in the earth because the earth can just absorb it. But it feels to me like the military is developing almost the same thing, mirroring spells. Every time you send a nuke to us, it bounces back and falls right on top of you. So who would send a nuke?
Yeah, well, we've always had that checks and balances going back to the days of the Cold War, America and the Soviet Union. It was always said that we would never get into a war because one missile would just cancel out the other.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. All right. Putin is quietly negotiating a peace deal with Zelensky. Let's take a look. There's only one way out for Putin, phase 4.
I want to do a pendulum on that. Putin quietly negotiating a peace deal with Zelensky. Putin. Zelensky. I'm getting no with the pendulum, but let me see with the cards.
Oh my God. Can I go first?
Oh, please. I'm still going.
Okay. So back to what the question is. It was about Putin negotiating a peace deal with Zelensky. So the situation right now is confusing, howling at the moon, insanity, right?
Yeah.
The opposition to him is the higher ethos. So that's the opposition to Putin. Look at this. What Putin fears, same card as last week, incarceration. It's the same card he got last week. Look what he's facing.
Wow.
Prosecution.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
Look at this. This guy's going to prison.
He's going to be lucky if he still has his life. I guess they'll just put him away. No, it's interesting because with the cards, when you said confusion, that's what I was getting here. Almost like the answer was being obfuscated, clouded over. But I was getting things like shame, deceit, restriction, shadow. But I was trying to get something conclusive here. That's why the question was a good yes or no. That's why I did the pendulum, and I got no.
Yeah, I don't think that they're negotiating because
it was a clear no.
Zelensky, after you've been raped and tortured and your family's been murdered by a rapist, do you really want to negotiate with them? And these people were raped. They were kidnapped. 200,000 of their babies were sent. I mean, there's nothing to negotiate. You're a criminal and you need to go to prison. And that looks like we could be looking in that direction. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
All right. Joel says, is America going through another gilded age of oligarchs out of control? What do you think, Chuck? How long? I think it's been this way since Reagan. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, at least. I know this is another topic. We're going to talk about later on the show about Bezos' $50 million wedding, but it was Rosie O'Donnell who was more or less alluding to this. It was Katie Couric who said, have we gone back to the 80s and back to this obsessive living and everything over the top? I forget the exact quote. I've got it somewhere. But yeah, I think we are there right now. Or at least there's enough people who want to go back to that.
Let's just do a throw on the future of the American oligarchs. Let's take a look at the future of the American oligarchs. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If you could like and subscribe to the stream, it really helps Chuck and I develop the channel and develop the show. We are just finishing our 3rd year here, and we will be starting a new season in, I guess, when is it? August, September, after I get back from Thailand. All right, let's take a look.
Oh. So, Whimsy, specifically the question again, please.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and put this up. Yeah. Question is America going through another gilded age of out of control? But my question was actually, what is the future of the oligarchs in the United States? Future of the oligarchs in the United States is the question. Gosh, wow.
Well, I'll just show what I have first. First of all, to describe the situation, it's about community. The bravado is about the richness, the excessiveness, the ego amongst this community. But I'm getting there's also shame, there's shadow, and there's going to be ultimately restrictions. There is going to be balance, truth. And for certain people, there is definitely going to be loss through this. But I think the main thing I'm getting is it's going to have to balance out. It's gone too far to the extreme, and it's not working. And right now, it's at the literal expense and peril of millions of people, very unfairly. So, what you have?
Well, right now there's a feeling of the people, we don't know what to do. 7 of Cups is confusion in the cloud. We honestly, we've been taken hostage. That's how many of us feel like.
How many feel?
Now, I had a vision of these automatic bulldozers that were clearing people, like we were being attacked by these bulldozers and there was nobody in the bulldozers. And now in Israel, they have bulldozers in Gaza that cleared when they cleared Rafah because people got killed. The bulldozers don't have anybody in them.
Do you think they could be like robotic?
Yes, the robotic bulldozers. So I had a dream of it, but here's where it terrified me. Companies had hired these bulldozers in this future of the vision, and I was like walking into a mall, and the bulldozer that was supposed to be protecting the mall went berserk. And it began to mow down and attack people who were shopping, and it was scooping them up and killing people. And I thought, oh my God, we're going to see a future with these things, these AI things.
Yeah.
And it's going to be used as crowd control, and we're going to be helpless to this damn AI that's being controlled by the billionaires. That is the possible future. So the future of the billionaires is that they're going to use their billionaire drones and their billionaire robot. There will no longer be police officers because the police will be robots. Now, I've heard two sides of it. I've heard from people of color, bring it on, because a robot, if it's programmed to be non-biased, is going to have less Black people getting shot and killed, right? Because it's just going to be looking at data, and it's not going to have to be filtered through whatever if it's done properly. So, but don't you think? But that doesn't mean getting rid of our police. It means training people, people that are not psychopaths. It's got me really look at this. And then here is the billionaires and millionaires defending their position on high, while the people, look at that. It's like the Eight of Wands again. The people are coming after them.
Yeah.
It's about power. Who is going to have the power? I see them potentially being driven out of the United States as a chariot here. We could literally drive them out on the rail. Dark aspect of the chariot is get the hell out of here.
You know, Whimsy, what occurred to me, I didn't want to interrupt you while you were talking, but one of the things in the bill, I don't know if this was stricken or not, but it was a 10-year moratorium for any state to interfere with artificial intelligence. And I'm wondering if that's why it was in the bill. Another way to benefit.
They need another 10 years to take control of us with AI, with weapons. And
I never thought of that.
What are we going to do? Go against Darth Vader's clones?
Yeah.
We're just people. It's terrifying. The visions I had in my dreams, we're headed there. And who's going to have control over all this stuff? Elon Musk, who's the richest man alive, and all the other millionaires and trillionaires that have invested in AI. He wants control. If you go to every time I do a remote view on Elon Musk, because I try to embody the person that I remote view, I want complete control so that you'll never leave me again. This guy has an incredible fear of being abandoned. Sure, every woman he gets involved with eventually breaks up with him because he's got issues, whatever. The point is that it's somebody who needs complete control and wants to put you in a box. So you'll never leave me. You'll never leave me again. It's a really, really scary place to go. And if that person has that kind of power, what are we all going to be held hostage in his box? And then he wants to cure death. So just take this chip and he's going to put it into his computer and you'll live forever in my world, in my box. And I won't let you die, but I want to die. Like, no, I'm going to hold you in this eternal. Your brain is going to become a chip, and you'll never die. You'll just forever be, and I will be your Lord.
Oh my God!
In this Elon Musk world, it's scary as hell.
People having their heads frozen to be revived at a later time, so you will never die. But yeah, I remember.
He's talking about downloading. Like, can you down? Oh my God!
Yeah, no.
So if you're in a coma, he can just and then you're like in this virtual world. He can just have you floating around in this virtual world, and you don't know you're in a coma. You're in his world. Right, you're in second life. You're in literally your second life. Holy crap! It's terrifying.
I'm still remembering. It was several months ago. We did a thing about Elon Musk and his league of robots and automatic cars. And I think he was working on a robot that I think would sell for about $30,000. And, he was trying to make it like most people would have access to these things. And of course, painting the rosy picture. Oh, here's something that will do your housework for you, wax your car, take your kids to school and stuff. But yeah, we both were feeling like there was far more sinister motivations behind those.
Well, how easy would it be to turn it into something dark.
Seems pretty
Like,
easy.
I mean, do people think about security when they watch these? Because he was talking about for $30,000, you can, what does he call it? What is it? iRobot? It's on iRobot, right? So did you see iRobot? I didn't see iRobot.
I don't know what the name was, but that sounds like something he would come up with. You know?
Yeah, so iRobot was this idea that, you know, the robot takes charge. So he took this idea of iRobot and he turned it into We Robot. And because it's a We Robot, you don't have to be afraid of it. But the concern here,
as someone said on here, like remember Rosie on the Jetsons? Remember Rosie the robot, the housekeeper robot?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yes.
oh my God, I can't believe you remember that. All right. So just because there aren't enough nightmares in this world, I mean, let's see. We need more nightmares. Let's go ahead again and take a look at Elon Musk and what he's created here.
Okay.
Car's going to drive itself.
Yeah.
So he's going to go around the block. He's just punched in his address. That's all you do is I want to go there. And then it just went around the block because it was punched in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that in and of itself is scary because, oops, I'm sorry, I've got it off.
Welcome to the We Robot Party. So we have quite a show for you tonight. I think you're gonna like it. As you can see, I just arrived in the robotaxi, the cybercab.
All right, so we'll push it a little bit forward. He's going to give a little speech. He shows the cars. We can switch past this. It's affordability. So, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, how many jobs are gone now, right? Because of this robo-taxi.
Right. And I'm assuming there would also be like trucks,
Yeah. Here's an airport.
Drivers out of work.
Here's the airport. Right. And here's the airport.
What happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? The Robovan. The Robovan is, we're going to make this, and it's going to look like that. Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick. So this can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods. So you can configure it for goods transport within a city, or transport of up to 20 people at a time. So this is gonna, the Robovan is what's gonna solve for high density.
All right, so goodbye taxi drivers.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the Bovan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, who needs an army, right? This is...
And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. And I think at scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably less than a car, is my prediction, long term.
And, then he showed they can be your companion.
Anything you want. So it can, be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks.
Would you entrust your children
The future is now,
to that?
right?
I mean, I wouldn't entrust my cat to one of those.
Right.
The idea of the self-driving cars, frankly, I would not be wanting to go down the freeway 70 miles an hour and entrust my life to one of those things. We know how computer software can malfunction at any given moment.
Very true. Next question is coming from Joanne Carson. Hi, Joanna. Thank you for your question.
Hi.
Will Colin Allred beat Senator John Cornyn in the Texas midterms? Let's take a look.
Oh, let's see. I got one card. No. Colin Allred beat. I'm getting a no. I don't know. I got a no. I also had, you heard me gasp for a second because I looked down and I still had the lost card out. And I thought, because this is a good yes or no, I went to the pendulum and asked, and I got a no. But it was a very weak, indecisive no. But
Well,
direction.
I think Elon Musk is talking about starting a new party. It's called the America Party. America
Yes, he
First.
is. Yeah.
And that could be splitting the MAGA vote. I think it would be very, very popular with a lot of people in the GOP. And if that happens, then we're looking at Democrats winning, because we've got this temperance over the situation. And here it is again. They're defending themselves. And complete chaos and confusion, like we've lost control of this narrative. And then the Queen of Cups who rubs her lamps in dreams. I think it's dependent on whether or not we're going to see an America Party. You know, look, the richest man in the world is not going to be protecting the poor of America.
Yeah,
but what he
is not.
Let's encourage the America Party, because it will split the Republican vote. And that's what we need in order to increase. I think it's great. Let's keep the Democrats together and let's get them to divide themselves, because if they do that, our wish is granted. Because you see that it's a possibility. 7 of Wands, they're in trouble. They know they're in trouble. But the question is, can we pull this off? Elon Musk could be the person that takes down MAGA simply through divide and conquer.
Well, he certainly seems to have a vendetta now against the MAGA party. And I was looking for this. You had the name, the American Party. That's what he wants to call it. I was just looking down at my notes here I had on Musk.
Yeah.
That was correct.
Did you have anything you wanted? Did you have anything you wanted to add to that, since you have stuff on Musk that you wanted to add?
I think we fairly much covered what we were going to talk about. There was one thing about Musk. He said that he's going to make it his mission. And he said, if they vote for this bill, they will lose their primary. I'm quoting him. And they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on earth.
Good.
And then but then
divide them.
But then he went further. You know how I said he'd like to do little teases like what he did with Trump and the Epstein files? He previewed on X what his attacks on those lawmakers would look like. And it was a poster with a picture of Pinocchio, the nose-growing Pinocchio, and the big word liars above it. And he said, any of you who vote for this bill, I am going to put your picture on this poster underneath the Pinocchio. So, I mean, that's just like one little teaser. I'm sure he will do much worse than that.
All right. Well, let's see. Is Elon Musk going to be deported by Trump? If he's owned by an intelligence agency, then no. If he is deep state, which I'm suspecting he is, somebody owns him.
Oh, I don't think.
NSA. That's a national security agency. He's either NSA makes sense because he's doing so much stuff in cyber.
Mm-hmm.
You know, NSA would be, if I worked for the NSA and I was a recruiter and I saw some guy out of Stanford that was getting involved with PayPal and I was trying to track money transfers, of course I would approach him. Well, what about my visa? We'll take care of it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see if Elon's going to be deported.
I'm going to ask this. Is Elon Musk going to be deported? Okay, I'm getting a strong no on that. I haven't even looked at cards, but I thought that was a good yes or no question.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt that. It just felt like, no, there's no way he's going to get deported. But maybe you have a different answer.
Well, he's got more money than God, and he owns, he owns X, right? So he's defending his position, 7 of Wands. Again, the oligarch is, the oligarchs know that they have to defend themselves. The other, meaning us, we are his opposition, the star, the hopes and fears, the truth coming out. Final outcome is fighting, infighting. So I don't know if he's going to be deported, but this guy is creating civil war from within. And I think it's great. Don't vote for America first, because America, it's billionaires first. It's a trick. Well, but let MAGA go to them. And then we have to remain, the Democratic Party, we have to get strong in our platform, working for the poor, get back to America first means working for the poor. Yeah. And making sure the wealthy pay their taxes. We need to co-opt it, and the way Bernie Sanders has, and take control of it. I don't agree with Bernie Sanders on every policy, but the fundamental idea of we the people, 100%, and that we have to take care of our citizens. We have such horrible living conditions. We're this rich country. We've got massive debt. Pay your damn taxes. What the hell is the issue?
Yeah, what should be the issue there? But the thing I'm noticing with Elon Musk, I'm sure everyone else is also, is that he's calling out a lot of the hypocrisy in Congress
that he was more than happy to live with when he thought he was going to get government.
Yeah, when it benefited him.
Mars.
So now it's not benefiting him, so he's calling it out. But I'm almost wondering if Elon looks at this as part of rehabilitation of his own image, because his own image took a huge blow. You know, Tesla's sales, I forget the percentage, but it was just massive worldwide, how much Tesla stock dropped. And didn't Elon lose 200 billion of his personal fortune?
He lost a lot.
He needs to do major rehabilitation of his image. And I'm wondering if this is part of it, you know, to call this out, say, hey, I'm on the side of the poor. I'm on the side of the senior citizens. I'm on the side of the people losing their insurance. You know?
He doesn't care about that. He cares about the debt, because
he cares about him.
Money is going to me. Pay the debt and pay me. Right? Okay. Next question. This one I have gotten emails about. People are very excited about 2026, and they love.
That makes my heart go
GOP and America. What do you think, buddy? What are you thinking?
I certainly hope so. It certainly looks that way, the way people are so outraged right now. I mean, just my opinion, I think the Dems are going to take control of Congress in 2026.
Oh, goody. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. Yes. Go
I guess this is just a pendulum. I guess it's just a yes or no.
Well, do you want me to do that?
Whatever. If you can do both, I don't care.
Well, I'll do both.
We're going to stay an extra 15, 20 minutes.
You know what happened? Why I have not used a pendulum for a while?
Why?
My cat got a hold of my pendulum, and I don't know what she did with it. So I had to get a new one. So it's the story.
You were killing it in case it hurt you.
Yes. So anyway, I need to get serious here. Okay. Democrats take control of Congress in 2026. Well, I'm getting yes. I'm getting a yes here. But I want to add, we know how energy shifts. We can do a reading right now, and that's what the energy says. And then a few months later, it can pivot, it can change. But I'm basing it on right now, this moment, the consensus of the people. I got a big fat, strong. Yes.
I got a yes.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
I
Yes.
did. You want to see my cards? You're going to love
I
it.
want to see your cards. Yeah.
Where Congress is right now fighting. Remember, the war card is the Knight of Swords. Helter skelter. You know, or actually, no, what do they call it? Bull in a china shop is what they refer to. So it's like, all right. The opposition, which is, I guess, the GOP. It's a power issue. It's a power issue. Or actually, we would be the opposition. Power. Hopes and fears, the Constitution. Final outcome, we get our wish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, we are going to take the House in 2026. Oh, right.
God.
Cynthia says, please answer the questions. We did. Rebecca says, oh, you're supposed to be reading. Read.
What?
You can read. I'm just holding.
Oh, I'm supposed to be reading. I'm sorry. Okay. Rebecca says, great opening. Comforting and joy eases fear. Thanks. Well, thank you, Rebecca. And Terry says, hello, Whimsy and Chuck, and a smiley face. Oh, greetings, everyone, from Intuitive Kathy. And I love your dog. Let's see. Tarot asks backwards. Apocalyptic day yet again. Well, it has looked that way today, but I hope we're
have
showing
faith
some
in
hope
Congress.
here.
I have faith in
Yeah,
Congress because
I
they've
like
got to justify this. They are the purse, and they've got to justify this.
Well, you know what? I like something that Elizabeth Warren said. She said, you know, we, the Democrats, we may not be able to stop them, but we can certainly make them own this. That was one of the reasons the Democrats were insistent on having the entire bill read. Took about 15 hours to read it, but nothing was left secret in that. You know, the news media could finally find out what was in that bill if they hadn't already. I guess it had been released to the news media, but how many people can read through a bill like that?
Come on, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, folks. Oh, Helen says, I love the opening. We got a heart. Thank you, Whimsy. Joel Tilson, take a deep breath. Trump is only a temp POTUS. Better days are coming. And he gave us several hearts. Yeah, Joel, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And Cynthia said, Joel, today was a rough day for me. What is wrong with Lisa Murkowski? The whole GOP. Oh, yeah, Lisa Murkowski. She's taking a lot of heat right now. Oh, because wasn't she the deciding vote?
Yes.
Yeah, and I read a little about her today, and of course,
because they remember what I said. They bribed Alaska with jobs because they put jobs for Alaska for drilling, and she had constituents. You better say yes because that's money for Alaska.
Yeah. Well, I saw, you know, because I wanted to research her a little bit today, and I saw where she's now feigning regret. Like, oh, I really wasn't happy with this bill. And we were rushed. We were given this deadline, this false deadline for July 4th, and it should have been deliberated more. You know, she was trying to save face. But there are a lot of people angry with her. I saw several pieces on social media today. People just furious with her in particular.
Sure, we expected more.
Yeah, we did. And Debbie M., good evening, Whimsy and Chuck, and all souls here tonight. Thank you, Debbie. Joanna Carson, hi, Joel. I'm more concerned about the Supreme Court.
You want to talk a little bit about the Supreme Court? We're going to go until like 6:30. You want to stay an extra half hour?
Sure. Okay. Let's see. Supreme Court. I mean, it's maddening that the three liberal justices have basically been made lame ducks. This super conservative majority is indeed frightening. You know, occasionally there will be dissents.
They're talking about Thomas retiring, so he would just be replaced by another conservative. But
yes, he would.
We're also talking about Sotomayor. She's been having some health challenges.
I didn't realize she'd been having health challenges.
Yes, you know, well, she has diabetes. She's getting older. They say her vision is starting to go, which is very common in diabetics. It has me very worried. It's like when she goes, what the hell?
Oh, dear God. I mean, the fact that this conservative majority could get even larger, I mean, we will be screwed for generations to come. You know, because Joanna Carson, you know, you're right. We do have a great concern about the Supreme Court. You know, because this really may be the most far-reaching of any branch of the government.
You just had a orb fly past you. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that. I was reading.
I saw. I think people saw it. Okay, let's take a look at SCOTUS and how, if we're going to see another conservative on the bench.
Oh,
Are you afraid? I'm afraid.
yes, I am.
Women in burqas. They want us back in burqas. That's what I think.
Another. You know, I don't know if this is giving me anything conclusive enough. Is there going to be another conservative appointed to the Supreme Court? Well, maybe I need to be specific on the question. I got a big yes, but is there going to be one in the near future? Oh, shit. I got a yes in the near future.
It's okay. I got it too. Let me show you.
You did too.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I mean, it's not.
I do feel bad.
Look at the people. This could be Sotomayor stepping down. Hopes and fears. Look at this. Our future. Look at this final outcome. Judge. It's going to be a male. That surprises me.
Yeah. Well, nothing surprises us now. The one car, I wasn't getting anything conclusive. That's why I thought this is a yes or no. I'm getting a lot of yes or no questions today. But look, scales of justice. That clearly signifies the court. And shame. And then, I was just feeling negative energy. And then when I got the pendulum, I thought, well, okay, am I phrasing the question wrong? Because obviously in the future, there will be more conservatives. But the question was the immediate. And that was boing. Yes, very soon. Or relatively soon. Renee said, well, I just lost my medical care. Thanks, GOP. No more cancer checkups. Hello, everyone. There are going to be millions of people in that predicament if this bill goes through. Joel Tilson said Lisa Murkowski was threatened by Trump or given more. Well, you even said this, Whimsy, or given more pork for Alaska. Yeah,
something
clearly.
that came up when we looked at it.
Yeah, I can't remember. Was Lisa Murkowski originally vacillating on this? She was not clear if she was going to vote or not, or was it always?
But when we looked at it, she had a 3 of Pentacles, which is a contract, and I just felt when I was looking at it, they're gonna buy her vote, and they did. Yeah. Cynthia, that was a hug in the comment section for me. Thank you.
Rose Blue, will ICC charge Donald J. Trump for crimes against humanity? Shackled immigrants are washing up on shores of Spain on worldwide news. Oh, wow, I didn't know that myself. Did you know that, Whimsy?
No, I would fact check it, but let's look at Trump being charged with crimes against humanity, because he's definitely, we have engaged in illegal acts with the immigrants.
Yeah. Is Donald Trump going to be charged with crimes against humanity? I don't like to be wishy-washy, but the answer I'm getting, when it goes diagonally like this, that's a maybe. It's not a yes or a no. But what I'm feeling like, it would be almost a token gesture, like nothing, even if he is charged, I don't know that he's going to be really affected by it. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But it was real wishy-washy on the pendulum. It was not conclusive, but it wasn't a no either.
Yeah. Moon, confusion, anger from Trump, back and forth, wishy-washy. Our cards always come up similar.
Really?
Patience, You know, I think the guy is sick, and I think he's going to retire early due to health challenges. That's
Yeah.
my own theory, because I just don't think that he's doing well at all.
No, you've been saying that for a long time now. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if this really applies to us, but thank you, Diva369. I love classic movies. I do too. It's passion for me. I have 2 decks like that. I don't know how the creators were not slapped with copyright violations. I don't know. It's really tricky. I just know from my personal experience, I've tried to do projects, celebrity things like I Love Lucy and so forth, and I have met huge legal blocks. Like with I Love Lucy, CBS, her children, Lucy Arnaz, Desi Jr. So, sorry, I know that's not what we're talking about, but I wanted to answer the response here. Cynthia said, Rosie's Insights said Trump dropped all of Russia's sanctions. Is that true?
No, we're still sanctioning Russia.
Yeah,
It's really not up to him, but entirely, no. The sanctions are holding, and actually he's broken with Putin. It's phase 4. That's what the supercomputers say we have to do in phase 4. So I can't see how, if all the intelligence agencies have come to that conclusion, I don't see how we can avoid it. Which is to contain Putin. Yeah.
Joel Tilson says karma is coming from MAGA Congress for betraying their people. Well, I certainly want to believe that very much, Joel. Lisa Turner. She just said she joined late and am so flippin' depressed. You know, Lisa, you're feeling a lot of what's going on in just the collective consciousness right now. You know, I have said this many times. I make phone calls for you, Whimsy, to your people. I talk to people all over the country every day, and I hear this. I hear the distress people are feeling right now. Rose Blue is Donald J. Trump lifting sanctions. So
no
money. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's
okay. To that.
Let's see here. We have a hi from my friend Kay. How you doing, Kay? I hope you're okay.
Hello.
All right. What's Joel saying here?
Will welfare for the rich end?
Isn't that really what it is?
That's almost what. Well, that's a good way of putting it. It is like welfare for the rich.
You know, why are we having to give food stamps to Kmart employees?
Yeah. Well,
What's that about?
Isn't it true in some states school teachers qualify for food stamps?
Yeah.
I mean, that's immoral. Just immoral.
Well, it's going to get worse if we dissolve the education department. Then it's on the states. So the poor states will produce inbred, uneducated people because the states are broke and they're not getting any federal. Oh God, I can't even handle this.
I know. You know, it even ties in with all of the decadence of the billionaires, you know, building their own spaceships, planning trips to Mars. Jeff Bezos's $50 million wedding in Venice, where it was almost like he was just like thumbing his nose at people, you know, like, look how rich I am. Look how excessive I am. Look at all the A-list people at my wedding, you know, and it was vulgar.
It was vulgar, and he's spending his employees' money is how I see it, because they have depressed wages. So he took their paychecks and gave himself a big party.
God. Yeah, I've heard Amazon employees are treated badly. I don't know specifics, but I have heard that. Yeah,
I have friends that have been through hell. You know, you're lucky if you get a temp job there. Oh my God, it's just horrible. And it's all being automated. Okay,
yes. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, more jobs are going to be taken away. More jobs. Yeah. In fact, I was just going to ask you, Whimsy, what are some specific things you have heard about Amazon employees? You said you've known a few. What have they said?
Well, they're just unbelievably depressed. I mean, I know a few people because I'm from Seattle. Like I grew up there. So they came. The first thing is that the employees cannot live in Seattle, even though the warehouse, because they can't afford rents. So they have to come in from Bremerton. So they're taking the ferry, which is expensive to get to a job they hate. Yeah. And also everything is controlled, when they clock in, when they clock out.
Yeah.
And it's just soulless. And their jobs are being replaced by computers. They've got lifts and things that are moving books and taking orders that are just automated. You punch it in and it goes and does the whole thing. So the workers are being phased out.
Yeah.
We are masses of unemployed, broke, impoverished people, and the world is getting taken over by billionaires and robots.
Yeah.
That's basically what it looks like.
Well, you know, it used to be that employees were considered the lifeblood of any business. You know, like you and I, when we used to work together in the health industry, you will recall, we gave impeccable customer service.
Right.
We knew how important that was. We knew that was the life of the business. That's what brought people in. It kept them coming back. And I can always tell when I go into a business where the employees are treated badly, you can just feel this heaviness, this energy. I've gone into stores where the employees look at me with contempt, like they want to kill me or something. Like they just are miserable. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. And I can tell they're being treated badly. And that trickles down to the customers and to the business. And of course, now we're going to have literally soulless workers if it becomes automated, robots.
Okay, we've already talked about MTG. I mean,
Yeah.
in Civil War and the collapse. Okay. Yeah, people are going to die from the big.
Oh, yes, children. I mean, I'm thinking about people who will not be able to receive their medications, their insulin anymore. I mean, there are going to be people dying quickly because of this bill.
Yeah.
At least assuming it goes through. We're going to hope and pray it does not.
50 years of cleaning up Republican messes. Absolutely, Rose Buller.
Yeah, Rose, I agree.
Reagan's tax cuts, Helen Bozo. Yes, you know, more. And then, of course, Joel talks about more welfare for the rich.
Mm-hmm. The
Hello.
poor being poorer.
Hi,
Yeah.
Joyce.
Hi, Joyce. Oh, I love Joyce. She's a friend of mine. Cynthia, thank God for this community. Yes.
Yeah, you got us. You got us. You got us.
Yeah, the community is what's going to save this world, save this country.
Do you think you know what? We know where they're heading. It's going to be AI and rich people. Is there anything we can do to stop this? Citizens United crap. Oh my God. How many people are thinking about leaving the United States and moving to Panama or Guadalajara?
A number of people are. Rosie O'Donnell, you know, she moved to Ireland.
That sounds beautiful. I just was in Ireland, actually.
Yeah, she moved to Ireland, you know, and she said a lot of it had to do with, you know, Trump has had this personal vendetta against her for like 20 years. And she said when he was reelected, she feared genuinely for the safety, not only of herself, but her children. You know, she has a 12-year-old child right now. I think her other children are grown, but she knew it was time to get out of the country. I've seen her give some interviews from Ireland on talk shows there.
Well, they've definitely declared war on the LGBTQ community.
Oh, yes.
And trans murder is like 400 times from what it was under Obama. They're just killing I fear for our trans friends. I'm like, are you feeling safe over there in Arizona? It's a red state. Like, Tawny, I worry.
Well, you know something, Whimsy?
Crazy
I'm
people.
wondering if we've never done this before. Well, we do our book interview. We should do an interview with Tawny if she would be willing to talk about that with us.
Yeah, I think I would, because she's a therapist in the trans community, and
I would love.
It's a terrible time right now for people in the community. It's like we've gone backwards. It's like the reptiles. We're devolving. It feels like we're devolving.
Yes, devolving is what it feels.
Yes, that's it. We're devolving.
I was thinking just this morning, you know, I was feeling sad and gut punched when I saw that news bulletin on my phone. I was just thinking that it's like we've gone back 50, 60, 70 years. And it's going to take generations to fix this mess. What we already had, we've lost it. And it's going to take a long time to get it back, if we ever get it back. Or it's going to certainly be rebuilt and it's going to look like something else. But it'll never be the same again.
Well, it's the ultimate narcissism. It's these men taking care of their needs, their sexual needs, and their financial needs with slaves, and women are and it's God's will. So it's like being a pig at the trough and then giving yourself permission to be a pig at the trough because it's God's will.
Mm-hmm. In fact, there was someone said a really good quote about pigs and hogs in the house. I wish I knew where I had that quote. Maybe I'll find it. But
Pigs at the trough.
Where was it here? Because that really ties in. I just don't know if I can find the quote. I don't know if I have it here. It was so perfect. Oh, yes. It was Senator John Kennedy, a Republican of Louisiana, who took a view of the wheeling and dealing going on right now. And he said, in the real world, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. And then he said, in the Senate, pigs just get fatter. That's his direct quote.
Any chance we're going to see Citizens United overturned in the future? You want to do a quick throw on that?
Let me see. Citizens United overturned in 2020.
With this Senate, with this House? I mean, with this Senate and with this SCOTUS, I can't see it happening.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a lot at risk, but Citizens United being overturned in 2027, says United. In 27, in another year. 28. Okay. I asked the question more specifically. I said in 2027, and I got a no on that. Got a no on that. And then I said, well, is there a chance in the future? It was a little more toward the maybe, but not a firm no, but a firm no on 2027.
We have to take control of our country. You know, for the healing of the nation, Archangel Raphael came over this question. The perpetrators in jail, the issue of you reap what you sow, and the Three of Wands. We could have powerful leadership emerge in the Democratic Party that takes legal action against these people, but we're talking about it taking years.
It's going to take years.
I think it's going to happen just like it happened after World War II with Franklin Delano Roosevelt bringing in the New Deal. We could see some kind of major transition because Three of Wands is your ship coming in. So it could happen in the future.
Well, you know, it's so interesting because I was reading an article and I wish I could remember who wrote it and where, but it was talking about Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal and the whole plethora of programs he brought in for social reform. And it's like what's happening now is a reversal of all of that. You know, like all of that's getting rescinded, or at least the Republicans are trying very hard to undo those programs. Let's see, Ginger Johnson, they have so much money that they wouldn't notice a tax, yet they want more. How many yachts do they need? Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there on that. It's lunacy. It's absurd. It's cruel. It's immoral what's taking place. Oh my God, Joel, I did not know this. Trump canceled Musk's government contracts today. Whoa. Because I read earlier that was one way he might get back at Musk, but I didn't know it had actually happened. Gwendolyn, all Elon needs to do is tell how he hacked the election.
Well, didn't he basically admit to it? Like, it's all fake. This is all fake. That's what he said. I know. None of this is real. What do you mean it's all fake? Oh my God, this is such a nightmare.
Well, didn't Trump basically admit that they stole Pennsylvania? That they did their little thing with the computers or something? I think he let that slip out. Jazzy Girl, I like your name, Jazzy Girl, but he's a drug addict. And they aren't much used to the CIA. That's actually a good point.
Yeah, I mean, either that or he's pretending to be. Who knows? I mean, God only knows what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that it could be just a pretense. He's a very shrewd man. He knows what he's doing. What Epstein files revealed? Were they, Joel?
I think they will be revealed.
Will they be?
Yeah, I think we've already checked on this. In fact, I would not be surprised if it was Elon. That I'm trying to go as fast as possible because we have literally like 400 questions that we haven't.
400 questions.
Yeah, I'm really behind. Yeah, I think that Elon is, he's not a stable person. So yeah.
No, he's not stable. Well, Rose Blue asking, would Elon freeze all of 45? I'm assuming Trump's accounts, has all his info now. That's interesting. I mean, supposedly he's got all of our information, every single citizen in this country. I hadn't even thought about it. Trump being one of those people. I'm wondering, Whimsy, if he does have stuff like that now he could use against Trump, like freezing his accounts. But anyway, we're moving forward. Is Jack Smith in the U.S. to nab Trump for treason?
No. No. All right.
Yeah.
This one I think we've covered, which is that we are given a choice. And, if you look at China, we were just talking about revolution in China when when the people put their perpetrators on trial. Absolutely. And also in France, right? So even though France never really had a true revolution because they've still got the same horrible people in charge, the same aristocrats. But yeah, I think revolution is coming, and I think it's coming now. I think that that's precisely what China and Iran want. They want chaos. They want us screaming at each other. We should have taken control of all the disinformation.
Yeah. Well, this whole administration here, the Trump administration, has been nothing but chaos and gaslighting and creating panic and confusion, shaking things up. I was thinking even the other day about the weather satellites that have been taken away that were used to predict hurricanes. And the Weather Service said this is going to be crippling. They're not going to always be able now to tell if a hurricane is coming in like at nighttime or the duration to be able to warn people properly. And I thought, okay, more mass chaos, more things to scare the hell out of people with. And I was wondering if that was even part of it. Helen, do the cards think that Donald Trump will be removed from office? Well, Whimsy, you've been getting in your cards.
They show illness, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got last week was illness.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's what you've been getting. Like, Whimsy, when you say it's more he will remove himself, maybe he would voluntarily resign because of his health? Or do you see it
I just feel
being removed?
I felt as a remote viewer, I use a Tantra technique called HCRV, and we try to be in a state of divine love. Step 3, you're just in a divine love, and then you give this divine love to another person, and then you become one in this divine love. So you become them. That's HCRV. That's why a lot of people don't like to do HCRV, but I just felt horrible as him. Like, I want to go back to bed. And then he had that bruise. He was falling asleep. I don't know if he had the flu or something more serious, but I felt like I just wanted to quit and go back to bed.
Yeah.
And so
he's a 79-year-old man.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry if we were not able to get to everyone's questions. We had a ton of questions, and what can I tell you, Chuck? We got popular finally.
I've had fun today. I was going to say we could go on to 11 o'clock tonight, I'm thinking of Judy Garland at Carnegie Hall. Oh, I'll just sing them all, I thought we could just keep on reading here, but I'm having fun. This has been a fun role. And I love interacting with everyone. I love all of our people.
Yeah. iRobot was a money with Will Smith. Oh yeah. I didn't see it, but it sounds.
I didn't see it either, but I know of it.
It sounds absolutely terrifying though. My God.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have fun, Chuck? You have a good
I
time?
had fun. I had fun.
Mhm.
I
I'm
love
glad
working with you, and I love the spontaneity today, going over a bit.
This was a good group today. We had a good group,
Oh, we have
and
wonderful people here.
yeah, we had
Really the
almost,
best.
look at that, almost 400 people watching us today. You can take
400
a look.
people.
You
Oh, well,
look up, you
thank
can
you.
see the number with the eye. Can
Well,
you see that?
where's it, Whimsy? I'm looking for
Where
it.
it says live one.
Oh, yes.
You see that's, yeah.
I see that live, 1 hour and 29 minutes and 57 seconds, but I don't see where it shows the
There
number.
should
But
be an eye. There should be an eye. Do you see the eye to the right of it?
no, it's not showing
Oh,
on my
well.
screen. But anyway,
Oh,
I'll take
well.
your word for it. I'm happy we have so many people here. You have the best people.
I'm very blessed.
Well,
I've got
I
beautiful
talk
people
to a
all
lot
around.
of people. You know, a lot of these people are clients of yours, so I get to talk to them on the phone. We have
And
wonderful
clients of yours
conversations.
now.
Yeah,
Chuck
yeah,
also reads, of course. So
yeah.
if people want to have a reading with you, how do they reach you?
Well, yes, and you can see my name there, Chuck Dransfield. So it's DransfieldChuck, one word, at gmail.com. And I would love to work with you. It's always my honor and it's my privilege.
And of course, Chuck is allowed to give medical recommendations. He is a licensed physician's assistant, naturopathic physician's assistant. So he is legally allowed to give you advice. Anything else going on with you we need to know?
Let's see. I'm doing my own channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. I do a live stream on Mondays, Chuck's Captivating Chat. Trying to talk there. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And when I do that show, as I said earlier, it's more old Hollywood stories.
Yeah.
I once worked on a book on I Love Lucy. So I've got all this stuff up in my head about Lucille Ball, I Love Lucy, the whole history. So I always talk about that. But lately, you know, because it's like this show, I get people who start asking me questions and
Bring your
suggesting topics.
tarot and give readings because people love to see you work.
I should do that. But I just get into great conversations with people and it becomes free form like this. The other day I was on for almost 2 hours just chatting with everyone.
Yeah, people
fun.
said that 1 hour wasn't enough. So I hope it was okay with you to extend today.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is my privilege. It's
Awesome,
my pleasure. It's my
awesome.
privilege. It's my honor. I love working with you and I love all the people out there. I mean that because, as I said, I talk to a lot of you.
Yeah.
Wonderful people. And I love when I can look at names and go, oh, I know that person. I know that person. I know that person, you know.
I agree. And if you're trying to get in for a reading with me or you need a medical consult or a reading, you can find my information through Booksy. Also, I'll leave my information below this video. It's usually in my channel section. Yeah. All right, everyone, be kind. Anything else you need
I
to
just
say?
wanted to mention, you mentioned this earlier, but you are doing a special this month.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Did you want to mention that again? Or
why don't you mention it?
Well, I will mention it. Whimsy is going to do something special for senior citizens over the age of 65 and over, where she's going to give a 20% discount on readings for the month of July.
Also for the unemployed. I think I'll extend it to the unemployed.
Okay, that's great. I will.
Yeah, so it would be the old prices from a couple of years ago. We'll just take 20 because a lot of people are struggling financially. So
they are
seniors. If you need a discount when you make appointment, just leave a note and we will return back 20%. Or you can reach out to Chuck. Leave a message at our phone number 323-762-3982. Let me leave that. And then Chuck will get back to you.
Yes, I will.
Within the day. Okay, that's all we got. All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We will see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
See you next time.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, loves.
Bye.